Hi, my name is Johnny Gifford. I'm the Executive Director for BCTV, and this is another episode of BCTV's Open Studio. This is a reoccurring show where we like to bring in folks from the community to get to know them, see what they're up to. And today we have a very special guest in the studio, the one and only Robert Sims. Hey, Robert, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, Robert, you just became the CEO of Brattleboro Savings and Loan just maybe a couple of months ago. Really an institution in our community for many, many years. So that's a big role to take on. And I know Brattleboro Savings and Loan has always been like really an intrinsic part of this community and its development and it's managing the wealth of a lot of the people here straight up. So that's an important role to be in. What are your sort of initial thoughts coming into Brattleboro and getting a sense of what this community is all about?
Yeah.
And where are you coming from too?
Yeah, well, I'm coming from not too far away in the Berkshires, and as my dialect probably portrays a little bit, originally I'm from Tennessee, but I fell in love with Vermont, used to work for Chittenden, and as many reviewers know, it merged and became M&T. And along the way, I was recruited away after it had merged with Peoples, and I found my way down to the Gulf Coast, but my heart always longed to get back to Vermont. Was recruited back to the Berkshires, and then was recruited from there to Brattleboro Savings and Loan. So that's how I kind of ended up here. The community itself, and then the bank, to kind of address that for a minute. I was at a credit union in Pittsfield, Grand Lake Federal Credit Union, so nearby, and was recruited there. I'd been there about 4 years, and I started being recruited for CEO positions around the country.
On like a temporary basis, interim, or no?
No. All at once, it was cool and kind of crazy.
Yeah.
About the time my wife said, feels like I'm kind of ready for the next thing, And then, like, within 2 days, I don't know, maybe she started sending my resume out. I'd get this out of the blue phone call for 3 different CEO jobs.
Wow.
Washington, D.C., Valdosta, Georgia, and then Connecticut. And so I thought, wow, that's cool, and but then I thought, rather than letting life happen to me, I think I want to kind of chart my own path. My wife is a teacher in Bennington.
Okay.
My daughter's going to school there. Then my son got a scholarship to go to Norwich. So this beloved state that our heart had been aching since 2009 to get back to. Now 3 of the people in our 4-person household were already here. So I went on LinkedIn, and then I saw, Brattleboro Savings and Loan. And I thought, kind of cool, And so then I checked it out. It's a B-Corp. It's a mutual bank, which, for people who don't understand that, it means we're owned by our depositors. So we don't have shareholders. If you deposit there, like a credit union, if you deposit there, you're a member of it. And if it's similar with a mutual bank, you're actually an owner. So if you have an account there, actually work for you. And all those dollars, 100% of them go back in the community. We pay taxes here, we're a member of the community. And as you said, it's been here 125 years. It's a vital part of growing the community. And it's the last bank headquartered here. So it's vital because when you think about creating livable wage jobs and reinvesting in the community, when it matters where your checking account is. Because if you have your account, I like Canada. They have a good second-rate maple syrup, it's okay. All right. But if you bank with a Canadian bank, like TD, nice people and all that, but your deposits go up to Toronto. And whereas when you bank with, BS&L, it creates jobs here. So I didn't mean to sound too much like a commercial there, but those are but truthfully, I really want my life to make a difference. And so when I saw that this institution was a mutual and how vital they were to the community, and it was Vermont, it was just kind of hit every one of the levers of what I was looking for.
So it sounds like by and large, these multiple banks have found you for a CEO position, but
yes.
This is sort of breaking the mold to a degree where you sought this position out.
I did.
With intention.
Yes.
Yeah, and it came to fruition. I mean,
It did.
was that just a sort of a coincidence of a position opening up when you were sort of looking to get back in the area?
100%. Now, understand, I have been looking to get back for a while. Okay, so just imagine some beautiful relationship you'd been in, right? And then, maybe life just kind of takes you apart from somebody. And you go on, you finish college, your master's, you have a career. But you're like, gosh, I was so fond of that relationship, right? And you miss it. That's how I felt about Vermont since 2009. Love the people, love the culture, love the natural beauty. So one part of your statement was, saw it and then jumped. But and that's true. But at some level, I have been looking for an opportunity to get back. So it just so happened over a long period of time, but in this little window, yeah, Johnny, that's exactly how it played out. And so I threw my name in the hat for this job. There's like 9 people. And I was already interviewing. I'd gone through a couple stages for those other jobs. And then finally the recruiter for this one was like, hey man, that's kind of a lot to be looking at 4 different jobs. And I thought, he's right. And I just put my heart all in on this one. Told the other folks, no thank you. And, thank goodness, I ended up getting the job. I'm so thankful. It's a cool town. I met you.
That's right. On
the
your
first
night.
night. Yeah, because I thought, let me get the vibe of this place, so I'm walking around. And ran into somebody who's here, Cookie, who we were talking about. And then I saw the concert, came in, and
You really got a full experience of Brattleboro that first night here in town. It's just amazing.
I did, and it's what I was looking for because it gave me a sense for the needs here. And so my life I measure it by impacting, to help people. Like I love meeting you. It was awesome, and so I love people, and if I can help people, loved it, And that night made me realize, well, some good opportunity here and good, warm-hearted people, and so anyway.
Yeah, so I'm glad that was your first impression to carry on the good work that BS&L and that you have been doing throughout your career. I have a question sort of specifically about BS&L as an organization. You've mentioned that it's a B-Corp and how that matters and how that is unique to sort of the general, banking and savings bank sort of landscape.
Yeah.
Can you speak as to what exactly that means for Brattleboro Savings and Loan and why it matters to you?
Ooh, it was one of the reasons that attracted me to it. It was like, when you're falling in love with somebody and it's like, oh, once all the lights come on, right?
Yeah.
So first it was cool as a mutual bank, and then I heard it was a B Corp. There's only 9 banks in the country that are B Corps, as I understand it, and we're one of them. We passed the test. So they look at some key areas. They look at, and you have to qualify for it. It's every 3 years you got to go through. We just finished and got requalified and got a really nice score. And so the first thing is, what are you doing for the community, right? And so in our case, check that box, because every dollar we take in deposits, again, it's loaned right back to this community, right? Like business loans, et cetera. So check that box. And then it's employees, well-being of employees. And are you, paying a good livable wage? Are you taking care of your team? And that really attracted me because throughout my career, I tend to be recruited to places to help improve employee well-being. That's one component of it,
Okay.
So that's a component. And then social responsibility, environmental responsibility as well. So those are kind of the some of the major tenets of what it takes to be a B Corp. And you think about it, it just lines perfectly up with Vermont values, right? So that was part of what attracted me too.
Yeah, and I think it's probably something a lot of banks in Vermont are going for, but I think BS&L has the designation, which requires a lot of extra legwork and sort of you're checking very specific boxes, which not every small bank could do. And I think not every small bank has the bandwidth to be able to do that. So it's a priority for BS&L is what the impression I'm kind of getting from you.
What was cool? We just literally had it's called beekeepers. They keep maintain that. I know. Yeah, I didn't come up with it. It's a cool name. And I just had the meeting today. And so, it's ongoing meetings to make sure we're staying true to the, to the B Corporation tenants mission, if you will. But it's, Yeah, but the funny thing was, I know what I was going to say. In that meeting, we have a consultant, and he was saying, this was already who you were before you got the designation as an organization. Mm-hmm. So it made it pretty easy for us. So.
Do you know how long BS&L has had that designation for?
Ooh, man. So it was not the previous CEO's one before. I think it was Dan Yates who actually began pursuing that. I think I remember hearing 7 years, so I apologize.
Sure.
I can't remember. B-Corp's not been around a super long time.
That's kind of what I'm getting at here, is that this is a relatively new thing, and that's exciting for BS&L.
It is exciting. I think it says something to the community and the broader community as well, that, we're holding ourselves to a higher standard,
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I think apart from that, I want to kind of learn a little more about you, too, and being in a lot of leadership roles throughout other banks, and now being in this leadership role, what is your experience sort of being a leader? And is that an acquired skill you've gotten later in your career, or is that something that you've have always kind of fallen naturally into? Where do you fall on that spectrum?
I think it started with, I grew up in a family business, and I remember my father speaking with me when I was 18, saying, gosh, it's a great business, that we've built, he and my mom, and, we'd love for you to consider taking this over one day. I said, Dad, when I'm 18, I'm going to be so far away from here, right?
Right.
So, 18, poof, leave for college, go away. My dad got cancer, or his cancer came back, actually. So I found myself coming back to, as you say, lead this company. But I had been like a foreman on our loading crews going back to when I was 16. Mm-hmm. That's when I first started, because actually that was my dad's first battle with cancer. So sort of as of necessity. And so my parents both coached me about, here's how you lead. And at the end of the day, it's really about serving. You serve, you do lead, okay? But right now I'm looking at you. And my window of view is probably not much more than 2.5 feet. It's not even 2.5 feet. I see you. I only have 2 eyes in front of my head. I think leadership is recognizing that you need a lot of perspectives, right? That like right now, this is outside of my view. I can't see it. Mm-hmm. So I think leading is giving everyone else a voice. It's attracting the right people to an organization, by maintaining those values, which BS&L has done. So there's a lot of good people there. And I guess leadership's been something I've studied for a long time. And at the end of the day, true leadership is not a commanding thing, right? I think in my book, true leadership is looking around you, not behind you, but looking around you. Is there anybody following you by choice, who doesn't have to, right? And it's being able to collaborate. It's being able to take advantage of lots of perspectives, and it's serving, right? So I've been a student of leadership since, and a crash course in leadership after my dad died, and I had to run our family business, Mm-hmm. So, I guess I've been a practical PhD pursuer, candidate of leadership since I was a kid. Yeah.
And sometimes you're thrown into a position where you have to do it, and then you make a lot of mistakes, but you learn. You learn along the way, and it makes you a better person. And I think part of being a good leader is accepting that those facts, that you're going to make those mistakes, and not having unnecessary shame or guilt about them, just owning them and making it a positive experience, just spinning it in that way. Yes. Really, not only for the perspective of others, but for yourself.
That's a really good thought. So I'm going to take that.
Run with it.
Yeah, run it. It's just like we were talking. We both play tenor sax,
That's
right?
That's right.
So I like that note you had. So I'm going to riff on this for a little bit. Yeah. But no, I'm going to build on that, right? So I think that's step one, is recognizing your own mistakes, right? I think what step two is, after a while you realize, wow, man, I don't know it all. When you're 18, you feel like you have to know it all, right? Yeah. You make a few of those mistakes, you realize, it's impossible for me to know it all. Going back to my perspective of view. And then that's where you make decisions collectively together. I don't know, Johnny, what do you think about this? And then you come back with something. And like right now, I've got a cool project. I can't tell you about it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's something that would help bring renewable energy here, make it affordable. It's someone else who's leading it. I'm just supporting them.
Great.
And but that's going to take. There's still so many mysteries to solve with this thing, right? And so if you have a collaborative, first you realize your own. I don't know everything. I know very little. But let's bring everybody together and we have a better outcome. So yeah, I think it starts with recognizing your own finiteness. And then when it really becomes leadership is then being able to bring people's voices out. Because, isn't it interesting? I mean, you do this, you've done this for a while. This is your field. If you've ever done a focus group, I find focus groups are not always representative because you'll have someone who's very vocal. But then if you're a good facilitator, you've got to draw it out of the other 6 people in the room, right? And I think that's part of leadership, recognizing you don't have the answers and then being able to draw it from the rest of your team.
Yeah, and not like putting yourself at the center necessarily, because then those other 5 people who are less vocal are not going to, pipe up or speak their truth if you establish this power dynamic here.
I could take that. Wow, man. Dude, I love it. I'm gonna run with that a little bit more. I keep doing this because I'm like going down to the lower notes, here.
Sure.
Yeah. Vito, an Italian saxophone is what I had. Oh, so resonant. You gave me the name of someone who can fix it too.
That's right. We got to get your saxophone fixed.
Oh, man, yeah. Hopefully I can find some time to play that thing again. Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree. How about that?
Great. I do have sort of another question, and you sort of, you started talking about projects you're working on, renewable energy. It's a secret right now, that's fine, but just generally I'm curious as to like what it's like in your role at BS&L right now, and because you help the community a lot through financial support and engagement with all sorts of different local businesses and whatnot. But what is that like do people just like come to you, like business leaders come to you with ideas and they're looking for Brattleboro Savings and Loan to help back that? Like, you must get so many different like visions and areas of interest that you then have to open your minds to a bit.
Yes.
Is that true for you? What is that like?
So that solar project, again, that's not mine. It is someone locally, a leader, awesome human being too. Man, you've got to have them on your show sometime because you would find them engaging. You might already know them. Anyway, but yeah, they come to you with an idea, and this particular idea in general is around renewables. It's something very affordable. Oh, it could be such a game changer. And they're like, hey, can you help us finance this for people? So now we're, it's something unique and new. And so we're trying to figure it out. So yes, exactly that. Then it is, so you think of the thousands of transactions we're doing every day through our branches, right? It also involves someone has an issue with something and they need help. It's like right now, if we were physicians, the blood that courses through our veins is keeping us alive. And for financial well-being, when it comes to finances, we're like physicians. So there's people have a problem, we help them with it. People have dreams and aspirations, we help them with those. I love seeing parents when they bring their kids in for their first account. It's like, I was telling somebody the other day, great parent move, Yeah. And because having lost my dad fairly young, there's so much I wanted to ask him, so much I wanted to learn. And when I see a parent like really involved or bringing their kid in to open an account, it's just warms my heart. And everything from that to a child getting an account to a business, who needs financing, for expansion, which creates jobs here locally, something we desperately need. All the way, to more major projects. But then if we follow the life spectrum into senior years, having a safe place for their funds, somebody who'll give them excellent care. I spoke to somebody in the lobby the other day and they told me, I have been banking with you for 40 years. And and it was just, they were talking about, man, I love the diversity when I walk in the lobby. I love, just the service you guys give. So it's rewarding. That's the word I would use to answer your question. It's crazy busy. It's fun. It's rewarding. You see people at their best, and you see sometimes people when they're really come at their worst and hurting, but everything we do I was thinking, actually on the worst, when someone's struggling financially, the gentleman at our bank or organization, who calls, somebody to help them with that. Yeah, I thanked him the other day because he's helping people at their worst, kind of like a triage, and then help them get out of a hard spot. And so yeah, no, every part of the spectrum, it's like being a GP, a general practitioner, except with finances, and dedicated to a single community, right?
Yeah, and it's cool that you get that opportunity to be a part of sort of the more macro and micro aspects of your bank. And so speak a little bit about the scale of the operation and the size of the team. Like, how big really is your team, and how often are you sort of all interacting with each other and working closely together? Are you like, doing your own thing at the top and occasionally you'll walk through the lobby, or like how tight knit is that crew?
Yeah, no. So I'm in the lobby actually.
Oh, are you?
It's where my office is. Yeah. So yeah, man, come by. And
you don't work in that steeple right at the top.
No,
right?
I don't, and I'm not at the top either.
Sure.
The way I view it is, I'm there to serve everyone else, right? And if this was a marathon, I'm the one handing out water bottles, right?
Sure, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true, And so yeah, no, I'm super lucky to be there, and camaraderie, employee well-being is vital to me. I mean, that's one of the reasons I took this job. They told me that's one of the reasons they recruited me. I gave them a number of references for people that have, that I've served on my teams over the years. And so 47 people to answer scale question, a little under 300 million here in assets. We're about 287, I think, right now. So that's $287 million that's loaned out here in Windham County, largely probably within 6 miles of this building. Mm-hmm. If you walk past stores down Main Street, we're the ones that have provided the financing most of them need. So you said at the beginning, we're a vital part of this town, and
You can really tell, there's like posters everywhere always of like, this was, funded in part by Brattleboro Savings and Loan. I've always wondered about like, how a bank is able to sustain that and also, keep everyone's money and their finances secure and safe. And I guess I've just always wondered, my naive self has always wondered, like, how does a bank actually make money?
Okay, well, cool. I'm happy to tell you, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reference two movies that are kind of cool, and one of them just about everyone's familiar with. It's A Wonderful Life, and the second one is Bank of Dave. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
Dude, man, it's a new movie. You got to check this thing out. I forget what part of Britain this guy lives in, but he, I forget what his business was. I think he sold vans or something, but did really well at it, had extra money, and so then he just started loaning it out to people who needed it, from everybody who was a street musician to, people who were starting a restaurant. And so the way a bank works is people make their deposits there. And if you remember It's a Wonderful Life, I'll reference that movie now. Do you remember the scene where there was the run on the bank? I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. It's a black and white movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
That's cool, man. I'll describe the scene.
Please.
This guy's been slaving away. His dad had the business, and then his dad died. Wow, this is sounding very familiar to me. Anyway, and then he stepped in and ran it, and now finally he's going on his honeymoon. He's leaving town, and that's right when the crash of 29 hits. And he sees everybody, and everybody's lined up at his little savings and loan, right? Kind of like Brattleboro Savings and Loan, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, what the heck? And so the cab driver's like, hey, man, that looks like I've run on the bank. So they go in, and everybody's lined up wanting their cash. And he said, well, your money is in Marie's house over here, because you brought your deposits, and now it's in that house. So the way it works is you bring your deposits into a bank, checking account. You think, what difference does it make where I put my checking account? We had this talk that night.
Yep.
It's huge. Because when you have your checking account locally, then that allows us to then take those dollars and be able to loan them to somebody to get their first house, their first business loan. I'll give you an example just from my career. We made a $5,000 loan. Golly, you know what? I think it might have been $2,000 loan to somebody to get a commercial vacuum cleaner, 2 of them. He and his wife had moved here from Brazil. So this is just an example of the difference it makes in doing local deposits and how we make money, if you don't mind an anecdote.
Please,
Is that okay?
yeah.
So this guy had been applying to his bank, wanted to get a loan so he could get 2 commercial vacuum cleaners. He'd come here from Brazil, he and his wife, and they cleaned houses. But they wanted to clean commercial facilities, so they needed a bigger vacuum. They're like, yeah, no, don't have the credit. Well, we made him the loan, and he went out and bought these 2 commercial vacuum cleaners. It was just he and his wife. He now has 23 employees because those commercial vacuum cleaners let him be able to start to getting commercial deals, which were more lucrative cleaning contracts, and he kept hiring. 23 people, $2.3 million in revenue. Wow. Now, all from a few $1,000 loan. So that's what BS&L is. We're making loans here, so people bring a checking account, because without deposits, we're dead in the water. We can't, hardly do anything. But 125 years of building trust, people bring their deposits here, and then we take them and make loans, just like that help create jobs in the community. So, and then how we make money is we're fortunate in that we got great clients, and they pay their loans back. So as they're paying those loans back, we're charging an interest rate.
Sure.
And then that interest rate we charge is how we make money.
Yeah, that all makes 100% sense to me. And I guess I never really thought about it too deeply, but it makes perfect sense. And you're just really like using that trust and using your physical assets that's been, developed from that trust to just jumpstart things in the economy that, have energy and action behind them.
Energy and action, let me speak to that.
Yeah.
So right here in just this Brattleboro proper, the city limits of Brattleboro, they're around and they only report this once a year by branch, right, within the FDIC system. But there's a little over 600 million in deposits around here. We have about, a little over 200 million of that, in our, here in the city, right? And this is publicly reported. So anyway, so there's another 400 million that's here. And by the way, all the banks that it used to be at used to be headquartered here. Brattleboro is actually the banking headquarters for all of Vermont, as I understand it. So, Vermont National, other banks headquartered right here. Well, now those banks have become other banks that become other banks.
We've seen that over even the course of the last 4 years. It's, that one bank block downtown changed hands like maybe 3 times before it fully closed.
There it is. What brought me to Vermont was Chittenden recruited me years ago, right? So Chittenden became People's United, Connecticut Bank. They became M&T, a New York bank. So let's go back to our illustration. Here, if it is an out of Brattleboro-based institution, those dollars aren't staying here. They're not going to make loans like, what I just described.
Right.
They're going to Syracuse, New York, Buffalo, New York, Toronto, Canada, just to name some of the leading other competitors.
Sure.
And I think it's inertia, right? And so that's why I so appreciate being able to be here and kind of get the story out, is it matters. And I think so many people, they did bank with a local bank at one point, but where you bank matters, because then it can help this community. It's just like you try to buy your groceries locally, right? And it's the same thing with banking. It helps change the vitality of the area, and either for the good or for the negative, right? Mm-hmm. So,
well, you're doing a really good job at selling the importance of banking locally, for sure. Like it's something that most people probably don't think about at all.
I know they don't. You just think, does it really matter? Like, I got the bank account, opened when I was a kid. No, it's vital. It's almost like, okay, so look at Brattleboro, right? I think they were playing an organ that night at that concert we went to.
That's right.
Right? Okay, well, that was made in a factory like right over here behind us, right?
Yep.
None of those jobs are here anymore. They're gone, and all the manufacturing's gone. And it's the same thing here. If you bank here, then we can help create jobs here, right? And I say that, and because I say it with passion, because I didn't have to take this job. I had a good job, and quite frankly, the other jobs actually paid a lot more, But yeah, I have a passion for making a difference. My balance sheet and income statement is different for me now, as you can tell. I'm very old, and hopefully I'll be around a while, But I want my life to count, and so this little bank is sitting here. I say little bank. I mean, it's almost 300 million, right? But man, they're doing good things. I just measured customer experience, and it's the highest score I've ever gotten anywhere I've done it. I've been in consulting on customer satisfaction experience. It was like 92.5. I've never seen a score that high. When people come, it's like this quiet little undiscovered place that people, think, oh, well, BS&L, yeah, okay, yeah, nice folks. Maybe they have one account there, but yeah, I just think, we haven't. I can be passionate about it because I'm new and I moved my family here and bought a house. I'm pretty passionate about it. So good. I'm glad I explained it well. But yeah,
and I think you're very good with the storytelling aspect of it, and in a way that it doesn't even feel like you're just doing your job trying to sell your business. Like you're just speaking really from experience and from what you've seen other places. And I think I just appreciate that about your general way of being overall. It's just your passion oozes right out of you for sure.
Well, good. Well, here's what I would say is thank you, because it's not selling. It's not. It's really not. You never really sell anything. If you sell anything, that means you persuaded someone to make a decision that maybe they didn't even need, right?
You're just speaking your truth.
Exactly. I'm just trying to say, we're here, and it makes a difference, and we will take great care of you. And if we can meet your needs, fantastic. And if there's something we need to do better, then they can. Hey, so this is the camera, right? So I will say, come by my office, please. We want to serve you well. And anyway, you can tell me ideas. So we're doing some innovations this summer, by the way. And I'm negotiating right now to be able to upgrade our mobile banking and a number of other services. So, we have good mobile banking. It was upgraded back right before COVID. But I feel like, that could use a refresh. And so we want to be able to serve in every way possible. So I've always found if you serve, then then the company prospers. So anyway, what else you got?
Robert, I want to start to wrap up this interview here. But before we wrap up, I just kind of want to break away maybe a little bit from getting in the weeds and the passion, even though I could talk about it all day. Okay. Of just like what have you been enjoying about your life in Brattleboro and this area and what have you been enjoying? What are you looking forward to? And then we'll kind of end it on that note, I think.
Oh, man. So I love going to the works, getting a cup of coffee, sitting next to the window recently at Christmas and the snow's falling. Got my AirPods in, listening to a good book and just decompressing. Loved all of the displays on Main Street at Christmas.
The miniatures.
Yeah, man, those were works of art. Picked up some skis and new setup here on Main Street, and then in the area, been skiing at Mount Snow. Love that. Haven't killed myself yet.
There you go.
Yeah, I try really hard too, though. Last year I was down a double black diamond at Jiminy, tumbling at 62.5 miles an hour end over end, but I was fine. I was okay.
Good.
That's right.
Wow.
So so I love the outdoors. Love hiking. Over at the Vermont Country Deli. Love that macaroni and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
And
the viral
pork.
mac and cheese.
Oh, my gosh. I swear, man, I feel like they're putting something in it or something. Like sometimes I drive by and I'm just like, got to make a hard turn in there.
Oh,
but man, I love everything about this place. I love the people. I'm going to hit we're sponsoring the ski jump that they're doing here. Yeah. And which really, that's one of the reasons I'm on your show. So I want to see if you'd be willing to maybe do that 90-meter jump. What do you think, John?
Are you asking me right here on the spot? Only if you're doing it.
Oh, really? Okay, careful now. So if I do it, you will do it.
Oh boy. All right. You know what?
No. I'm not kidding. We'd only live once because I'd be dead, man. I would be. Right. So I'm not even going to ask for that. But no, I'll be hitting that in a few weeks. Yeah, man, I love everything about the place: the food, the people. Man, and serving the community. I love that. I love our dedication to local. Yeah, like you said, all the things that You were driving through camping, man. What made you pick this town?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to turn the mic back on him.
Oh, boy.
You had a cool
Oh, boy.
story about it. Why did you choose Brattleboro?
Yeah.
So why did you choose it?
And I knew you were going to be the person to return the mic and,
Okay.
and
Well, no,
turn this into
seriously, it's a
different
cool
show.
story. It's a
For
cool
sure.
story.
But I mean, really, the reality of it is that I was just in Vermont on a camping trip with some friends. I'm from Eastern Massachusetts and Central Massachusetts, and came here just to decompress for a weekend with some friends, and we were more in the Bennington area, I think, and stopped in Brattleboro on our way home, and immediately as we rolled off of exit 2 down High Street into downtown, I was just kind of captured and struck immediately. I felt this this energy in me that I can't ascribe to words, between the architecture, the landscape, and just the people I was observing on the street, and I knew this is where I had to live. I mean, there was just no question about it in my mind, and I didn't know anything about the community at all, really. But I was like, I think I'm gonna live. I'm so casual about it. I'm just like, yeah, I'll live here. Okay.
Wow.
And just made it happen. And maybe a year and a half later, I found a place, found a job, and here I am.
Man, that took some courage. Not you didn't have family here or anything.
No, but it's I'm from New England, so it doesn't feel like that much of a lift. I can drive 2 hours and see all my family if I want.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It took a lot of courage.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I did the same thing, by the way.
There
so
you
here
go.
I am. Fell in love with the same place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else or?
No, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, for sure. Okay. But I'm just excited to have you as a member of our community. Every time I run into you, I love talking to you so much. You're a great conversationalist.
Well, thanks. Well, I will tell you, or any of your viewers, man, I'm right over here at 221 Main.
That's right.
Walk in the front door, turn left. Oh man, I love people much better than banging away on my computer. So so come by and say hi to me, and we'll maybe hit Amy's or something, get a pastrami or something, or whatever, or peanut butter. You're a peanut butter
I'm a peanut butter guy.
You're a peanut butter guy.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, please.
Cool. Well, thanks for being a guest today on Open Studio. It was nice chatting with you.
Well, great to chat with you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thanks for watching another episode of BCTV's Open Studio. Take care, and we'll see you next time.